she to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is, therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her, and finds a Christian burial.
Then how could that be, unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be say offendendo, it cannot be else. But here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. And an act is three branches: to act, to do, to perform. Argo, she drowned herself wittingly.
Hear thy good man, Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man goes to the water and drowns himself, it is will he, nil he goes. But if water comes to him and drowns him, he drowns not himself. Argo, he who is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
What is this law?
Aye, marry, is it? Crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If she had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest. And the more pity that great folk should have the countenance in this world to hang or drown themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, where are our spades? There's no ancient gentlemen except for ditchers, gardeners, and gravediggers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
The first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
Art thee a heathen? How dost thou understand Scripture? The Scripture says he digged. How does he dig without arms? And let me pose thee another question. Who builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass cannot mend its pace with its beating. And when you are asked this question next, say a grave maker. His house lasts till doomsday. Go, get thee to Eugen, fetch me some stupid liquor. Just, I love kids, I love. Lovely wench, won't you stay? Come hither, parley with me.
Has this man no feeling of his business, that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
'Tis even so. The hand of little employment hath the daintiest sense.
But age wit, its stealing step, hath clawed me in its clutch, and hath shipped me into the land as if I'd never been such.
That skull had a tongue in it, and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground, as if it were Cain's jawbone, but did the first murder. It might be the pate of a politician, which this ass now overreaches. One that would circumvent God, might it not?
It might, my lord.
Whose grave's this?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pit of clay is to be made for such a guest as meet.
I think it should be thine, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, and therefore it is not yours. For my part, I lie not in it, and yet it is mine.
Thou doth lie in it, to be in it, and to say that it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away gain from me to you.
What man doth thou dig it for?
For no man.
For what woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, but rest her soul, she is dead.
How absolute these knaves be. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. By the Lord, Horatio, these last 3 years I've taken note of it. The age has grown so picked that the toe of the peasant comes so near to the heel of the courtier. He gaffs his kibe. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born, he that is mad and is sent into England.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if they do not, it will be no great matter.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely.
Faith in losing his wits.
On what ground?
Why, here in Denmark.
Well, how long can a man lie in the earth without rotting?
In faith, if he be not rotten before he dies, as we have a lot of poggy courses now that will scarcely hold the laying in, it'll last you some 8 or 9 years. A tanner will last you 9 years.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade, that he will keep out water a great while, and your water is a sore decay of your war-sown body. Here's a skull now. The skull has lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A whoreson's mad fellow. Who do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on a soul for a mad rogue. It poured a flagon of radish on my head once. That same skull, sir, was Yorick, the king's jester.
This?
E'en that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Uric. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rims at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed. I now know how oft. Where be your gyves now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment? That were wont to set on the table on a roar. Not one now, to mock your own grinning, quite cheap fallen. Now get you to my lady's chamber, and tell her, let her paint an inch thick. To this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Doth thou think Alexander lived of this fashion in the earth,
Even so.
and smelt like this? Ha!
Even so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander, till he find it stopping in a bunghole?
But to consider too curiously, to consider so.
No faith, not a jot, but to follow him thither with modesty enough, and likelihood to lead it. As thus, Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returneth into dust. The dust is earth, of earth we make a loam, and why of that loam whereto he was converted? Why they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth, which kept the world in awe, should patch a wall to expel the in winter flaw. But soft, soft, here comes the king.